Hi guys, Chin here at Titan Strength Academy. Doing a video in the office today. I've got my trusty board with me, as you can see. We're going to talk about motivation, inspiration, and so on. The number one thing that I see and hear whenever I'm talking to people about their training is that they lack motivation, that they're really struggling with the motivation side of things. And that's the number one reported issue. I can't get myself motivated. And we're going to try and tackle that problem, okay? So I think generally they're missing the point. They're not missing motivation, they're missing discipline. Motivation is only going to get you started, the discipline will keep you going, okay? So let's look at this. So discipline is the key. Alright, the key to everything is just taking that fucking first action, having the discipline to do it when you don't want to do it. Let's be honest, guys, nobody wants to go to the gym and work hard. Sometimes you might be motivated and inspired to do it, but most of the time you're not inspired and you're not motivated to do it. You just have to fucking go and do it. That's the way it is. That's how professional athletes get to be the best in the world. They don't feel inspired and motivated every single day. It's just that work for them. It's just discipline. They get up and they go and do it, and that's that. All right. So discipline's key. This is the first step. From that, we get the action. So taking the action of getting yourself into the gym, taking the action maybe of reducing sugary crap from your diet. If you do that for a day, it feels good. You're starting to feel then you're starting to and reaffirm every day then that you are someone who takes action. You are someone who can get shit done. To get to the gym, to get your nutrition on point. You can make these associations then. And out of that comes belief, because if you're affirming this every single day, then you really start to believe it. You start attaching these belief systems to yourself. Then you are that person, okay? You're not the person who slouches and who fucking doesn't go to the gym and doesn't try on his nutrition or nutrition. So affirmation and reaffirmations, they form beliefs, and from beliefs come inspiration. So when you've had belief for a while, you have belief in yourself, you become inspired, and this is where where the magic happens. Let's say this is the real magic. This is the state that you want to be in. You want to be in an inspired state. I once did a video on inspiration, and it was titled "You're not tired, you're uninspired." All right. Whenever people are inspired, they will drum up energy from anywhere, even if they're not motivated that day or whatever. If they're inspired, if there's something bigger driving them, and a belief system that they believe in themselves that they're going to achieve their goal and achieve the outcome they want, then this is inspiration, and this makes it so much easier then to continue on the action. And that's why this one goes around in a little circle, as you can see. So action, affirmation, belief, inspiration, back to action, back to reaffirmation. All right, so you're reaffirming all the time by taking action, being inspired, driving forward, high energy, high pace. That's where you want to be at. That's the state that you want to be in. Okay. Now, you still every so often, what's going to happen is your belief's going to get shaken. All right. So we've got Nora coming out here. We know it's not a perfect world. You've probably had stages in your training career, your training life, in your life in general, even where you've been inspired, you've been pushing forward. I will not call it motivated, because motivated is not the same thing. But you've been inspired. You've been inspired by a big goal, and you're driving forward for it, and you feel like you're making a lot of progress. And then something happens. So we get setbacks. Let's see this a bit closer. We get doubts. It's a big one. A lot of people, they just get, for whatever reason, somebody says something to them maybe, and they start to doubt themselves. They start to doubt the process. They start to doubt, that everything's going to work out for them. So doubts, setbacks, obstacles, and just laziness. So the other thing is humans are built to survive, not thrive. Okay, we're naturally not built to thrive. We're not meant to be going at 100 miles an hour. We're built to last. We're built to survive. That's it. Okay, so laziness is a natural characteristic for most humans, because that's going to preserve energy, and we're doing the minimal shit required. Okay, so anyways, all this happens. This stuff is not good. Now, in order to overcome this stuff, this is where then we build mental fortitude. So this is where it really, really works up here. This is kind of, I said discipline is the linchpin, but in order to achieve discipline, these ones must come into play at some point. They're not always needed, but they're needed whenever shit hits the fan. Okay, So perception, fortitude, and persistence. Now, the reason why perception is number one is because you first have to understand and perceive the world in a way in which you can have mental fortitude, and you can have persistence, and you can overcome it. You have to perceive a setback as just that, a setback. You can't perceive it as the end of the world. So if you think that something happens and it's going to be the end of your fucking, I don't know, career, the end of your training journey, or you're going to fall off and that's going to be the end of it, and you're never going to achieve that goal. If you've got that fatalist mentality, then the perception needs to change. We need to work on that first. We need to make you understand that it can be changed at any point in time. So you might be feeling like that now. Like, what's the fucking point? It didn't work out before. It won't work out again. We can change that. We need to work on changing that. Because if you don't change that, then you can't get the fortitude and you can't get the persistence of action that you need. So persistence, go back to discipline, and then we start this cycle all over. Now, I know this is a great wee board and everything's fucking great, hunky dory. But what does this actually mean in reality? So, in order to take that first step, in order to get on this cycle, then what we need is to get what really helps actually is to get someone into an environment where that's the norm. So, as I say, we're built to survive, not thrive. However, if we're put into a community where that excelling or being brilliant, that excellence is a natural thing or something that everybody's doing, we will try to fit in, because in order to survive in the past, we've had to fit into our communities and contribute to our communities. So if you're belonging to a community that's thriving, and striving for excellence, then that makes the whole process much easier. So belonging to a community that does that, honestly, you've all heard of the 6-person rule. The closest 6 people that you spend most time with will directly affect your life and will reflect on how you're living your life. That shit's true. It's been looked at in studies, and it seems to have worked the entire time I've ever coached for the last 10 years. So what happens is we need to get you into a place where discipline is the norm. This type of thing is totally the norm. Discipline, action, and the belief and inspiration. You've got to get into a place where other people are inspired. You can feed off their energy until you have your own. That's the first step. If we can get you into that, then all this becomes possible. As I said, guys, if you're demotivated, it's not, that's not the problem. The problem is, first of all, taking that first step. So being demotivated is fine. Everybody gets stages of demotivation where they're not feeling 100%. In fact, that's probably most of the time for most people. However, if you can get yourself in the community where discipline and action are the norm, and inspiration feels like the norm, where people are inspired and pushing themselves and trying that bit harder and giving it their all, then you will naturally assume those types of things. You will naturally try and do what everyone else is doing in order to survive in that community. And that's what we're trying to get across here in this message. So if you're out there and you're struggling, join a fucking community that is getting shit done and hitting their goals, and that is the way you will hit yours best. It's much easier to work in a pack. If you've ever done a fucking study group or anything else, you know for a fact that it's much easier to work in groups. It's much easier to suffer together with someone rather than suffering on your own. And so, yeah, take this message hopefully and use it. And let us know or get in touch if you want any further help. Thank you guys. Bye.